What is a visual arts studio? Here are two paintings of two artist studios. The top one is from William Merritt Chase's studio. The bottom one is from Sarah Baptist's studio. What makes it a studio? Here are two photographs from the Brandywine River Museum of Art. The top photo is of N.C. Wyeth's studio, and the bottom photo is of Andrew Wyeth's studio. What are the similarities between art studios? Both of these are pictures of art studios with the artists in them. The top one is of Kehinde Wiley and his studio. The bottom one is of Rina Saini Kalat and her studio. Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to week 14. I really hope you enjoyed your winter break and you got to have a lot of fun over break. Ladies and gentlemen, this is the Meet the Artist week. But this week, instead of meeting a particular artist, we're going to talk about the art studio itself. Because I know there's been a lot of questions about what Studio Art Week is compared to Meet the Artist Week. Meet the Artist Week is basically our history lesson, where I teach you a little bit about whatever it is we're going to draw next week or create next week. So here's our story. This story is going to be the same for grades kindergarten through 5th grade. However, the essential question at the end is different for each grade band. So be prepared for your essential question to answer in this week's lesson. Thank you. Studio, A Place for Art to Start by Emily Arrow and the Little Friends of Printmaking. I'd like to read this story to you so you understand why I call our art creation weeks Studio Art Weeks. This story is about a young bunny who makes the rounds of a studio building, taking in all the different artists in their habitats, making, thinking, sharing, performing. But can our bunny find the perfect space to let imagination shine? In this charming ode to creativity, noted children's singer and entertainer Emily Arrow introduces readers to the concept of the studio, a place for painters, dancers, singers, actors, sculptors, printmakers, and you. Whether a giant space with big windows, a room filled with equipment, or the corner of a bedroom, your studio can be anywhere. You just have to find it. Text copyright by Emily Arrow, illustration copyright by the Little Friends of Printmaking. Tundra Books, an imprint of Penguin Random House Canada, Young Readers, a Penguin Random House company. A place for making music, a place for making art, a place to build and dream and move, a place for art to start. The studio. Art comes in many forms, such as music, dance, theater, media arts, and visual art. Visual art, that's your elementary art class. We call a place a studio when we're creating in it, or practicing or editing, or thinking for a minute. These action words are part of our creative standards. Some artists need a studio with lots of room and light. Why do you think the light is so important to visual artists? While others find a tiny nook will fit their work just right. Here we see artists in a darkroom. A darkroom is where photographers develop or make their film and photos. The room is completely dark except for a red light bulb. Can you find the red light bulb? A habitat for makers with string and sculpting clay, a place where people twirl and leap or simply stop to play. Sculpting with clay, wood, metal, paper, or more is how artists make three-dimensional or 3D art. This art takes up space and isn't flat. Your chair is a 3D example of art. Can you name anything else that's a 3D example? And if you look in the background in the door, you can see a dance studio. Perhaps an animator or an actor with a part. No matter who, they're free to do whatever's in their hearts. Many of you have been sending me videos of your artwork. Did you realize that your video is an artwork too? When we have ideas, we can bounce them off each other. toss them around and shake them out, make something even better. It's great to share ideas. We learn from other people's ideas. We can change an idea or work with a friend to mix our ideas together. And playing with ideas can lead to so much more. I bet you see what's happening. It's spilling out the door. Look at the mobiles and the stabiles, called stabiles here, like we learned about Alexander Calder. From every little studio, our tiny magic room, we tell the world our story, we sing the world our tune. Music is an art form too. That's why music, visual art, graphic designers, and performing artists are all called artists. Art is made for sharing. An artist always knows that seeing it a different way can help your art grow. Look at an artwork close up. Now try it far away. Can you turn it? What do you see? Which way does it look better? People in big cities and teeny tiny towns will hear the joyful melody of art that's all around. Here, musicians and fashion designers are creating. Would you normally see them in the same space? Can you find the musicians? What about the fashion designer or designers? Do you have an idea? Are you ready to create? Listen to your inner voice and find your special place. What type of art will you create? Think about what you want or need for your special studio. Do you have it? Hold that thought or sketch it in a 2 to 5 minute sketch. This will prepare you for next week's studio art lesson, where we will create our own studio. Let's get those thinking caps started. Finding your own studio shouldn't be too hard. Round the corner, in a park, or maybe in your yard. Think about where your studio should be and why. Are you going to paint outside or inside? Which is better and why? That is just an example. You can do whatever you want to do in your studio, a place to be creative wherever that may be. This looks like a sculptor's studio with wood tools like hand tools, band saws, drill press, table saw, and a router table. But guess what? Even painters need a table saw so they can make their own canvases. That's right. They need to make the wood frames and then put the canvas on it before they can paint. Make it your own, an artist's home, a place where you'll be free. Please hit the green next arrow to hear and see your essential question for the week. Then submit an audio or audio-video recording of your answer to the grade-appropriate question. If you have trouble recording, you may also type your answer in instead. Listen as we learn about Emily Arrow, who creates songs about books. Formerly a kindergarten through 6th grade music educator, Emily's passion for books led her to make music that promotes literacy. She pioneers bringing picture books to life by collaborating with best-selling authors and publishers. Emily shares her passion for literacy and music by offering workshops, classes, and weekly story times. Visit Emily at emilyarrow.com to sing along. The Little Friends of Printmaking. Our husband and wife team, J.W. and Melissa Buchanan. They first made a name for themselves by designing and printing silkscreen concert posters, but soon branched out into other fields. In addition to their work as illustrators and designers, they continue their fine art pursuits through exhibitions, lectures, and artist residencies worldwide, spreading the gospel of silkscreen to anyone inclined to listen. The Little Friends currently live in Los Angeles with 2 very round cats. Studio, A Place for Art to Start, is their first book for children. This is a reminder to please hit the green next arrow to hear and see your essential question for the week. Then submit an audio or audio-video recording of your answer to the grade-appropriate question. If you have trouble recording, you may type your answer instead.